Hello everyone. I've been finding myself a lot quieter than I have been in the past, specifically the last 3 or 4 days, basically since Saturday morning on. And I'm finding that to be, I guess on the whole, a good thing, but it's kind of hard for me to see it like that all the time because I'm very much used to constantly having something to say as being like a sign of progress, I guess. And I'm very much learning to be a bit more quiet, or that what I need to say doesn't necessarily need to be shared. Some of it can be for myself. Like a lot of the videos I've been posting recently have just been for myself, which is a good thing. But it's also, in my inside, I kind of feel this I don't know if it's failure or if it's what, but I feel like I'm supposed to be sharing, I'm supposed to do this, and when I don't have something to say, then I'm kind of either letting myself down or letting people watching down, that I don't have enough output. It's hard to get that in your brain, especially if you've made YouTube videos before and you're ingrained with you gotta keep to a schedule, that kind of thing. It's hard to deprogram yourself from that, but I'm slowly getting used to that. I'm finding that just in general in life, a lot of the things I want to say, or when I'm in conversation with family or friends, I don't. I'm finding myself holding my tongue more. The phrase, if you have nothing nice to say, then don't say anything. I've been kind of re-examining what that really means for me, in terms of, if you don't have anything constructive to say, even. Take it one step farther. If you don't have anything constructive to say, you can stay quiet. And I think a lot in my past, being quiet has always been associated with me being antisocial, or not wanting to engage. That's how it was always reflected back to me, I'm not doing enough because I don't have anything to say, or I'm not trying hard enough to be part of a conversation. But I'm finding, the more I'm really examining the conversations that I'm being criticized for not taking part of, that they're not meaningful conversation. There's so much, it's just noise, or it's talking for the sake of talking, or because we're supposed to be saying things, or just complaining. I'm finding that a lot of people that I know, I'm going back through a lot of old conversations I had, text conversations, or just thinking back on conversations I've had with friends and things. So much of my past relationships were just based on they were built on complaining. That was the main thing that I would relate with certain people through, was just they would complain about their lives to me, I would complain about my life to them, and that was just the whole thing. It's interesting because in my head, there's a lot of people that I was friends with that I'm talking about, and I wanted to stay friends with them. I wanted to go a little further back. I'm currently at a point where I'm not talking to a lot of my friends. I'm taking a lot of time for myself because I want to re-examine my life, where I am, and what's the best next step for me. And I was in my head, I always was I want to rekindle these friendships, what this new understanding of who the new me is, the real me is. And now I'm starting to think maybe I'm not supposed to be friends with these people, because in my head it was just well, of course I want to stay friends with them because I was happy when I was with them, but it was just was it just because I had someone to complain to? I don't know. I'm kind of struggling with that, going back and forth, that on the one hand, it is good to have an outlet, to have someone that hears you and sees you, and the things that hurt. In many ways, that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm expressing that. But for that to be the only thing, it's kind of sad to know that some people I held dear no longer serve me. And I'm gonna have to find a way to explain that to them that doesn't sound rude, because in my head it just, I'm trying to figure out a way to not sound like, hey, you're too negative for me, goodbye. I don't know. That's my own work. I'll figure that out myself. Sorry to bother you with that. But yeah, I've just been a lot more quiet because of that. Like when I have that impulse to like say something, so many of the times it's just, is this adding anything constructive? Is this adding anything, I want to say good. I guess constructive is the most apt word I can think of in this moment. So much of the time the answer is no. So much of the time I'm just silent now, which I think ultimately is good. Like, I am finding that that is where the peace is, obviously, but I don't know. I just want to keep lamenting over that so much of what I was always trying so hard to like say something, because I always felt like if I wasn't, I was doing something wrong. It was okay that I didn't have anything to say. It's okay whenever I don't have anything to say. When I do, it'll come. I hope you're feeling well, or better, or whatever it may be. I haven't been feeling great. Very human, for lack of a better word. Just very, I don't know, maybe a little sick. Like, it's my first time really, I guess, like suffering, I guess, is a way that you would call it. Which is very fitting, because what I'm reading right now has been about suffering and how to get through it and how to like enjoy suffering. And that's something I'm really loving about this new perspective in life, is that it's like every time something negative happens, there's something else that like comes to be like the hand around your shoulder, arm around your shoulder, being like, no, yeah, this might suck, but hey, I'm with you. Like, I used to be so averse to like suffering in general. I feel like I've said that before. I feel like that's natural for most people. But I used to just kind of whenever I would suffer, it was very much an indicator that it was time to give up. And I feel like if 10 years ago this had happened, like now, like when I'm feeling like really disconnected and feeling really like just in the society world again, I'd be like, oh, time to just give up, go back to that world, because that's where I am now. But no, it's so much. I'm able to see that like there's a meaning for it now, I guess is the best way to explain it. That like I don't want, I'm of two minds, because when you say that like everything happens for a reason, it's so easy to think of like all the horrible things happening in the world and like then be like, oh, so this is happening for a reason, this is all a good thing ultimately that's happening. And I don't know the answer to that. I really don't. I am one person, but I can see for me now that it does seem to always have a reason. Like I'm suffering now, but I'm suffering as I'm reading about how to suffer. Like I'm feeling bad, and then I'm reading a book that's saying, hey, if you're feeling bad, think about this. Think about the fact that this is strengthening you. Like, if you want to build muscle, you have to break the muscles so you can rebuild it. There's got to be pain involved with growth. And you can enjoy that. You don't need to suffer anytime you like lift weights. You can, or you can choose to like feel that burn, feel the burn of it, and also acknowledge the goodness, like what the good parts that are happening. And I never really had that before, and I feel like that's very just keeps me on the path. It really keeps me in the direction. I've said it before, and I'm sure I'll keep saying it, that it's just the biggest thing is that like there's a direction now I'm going. Like I might not like see where the destination is, or if there is a destination, but I know that every time I take steps in this direction, I'm more comfortable. I feel more like myself. Like I'm more talkative to people. Like let me rephrase that. I'm more cheerful with people is a better way to say that. I'm not as like scared of people anymore, because I know that they're all reflections of me. I know that we can all head in the same direction together, and if I'm kind to them, they can be kind to me, and we can have this symbiotic relationship. It's just everything's going in the right direction. And when it doesn't, now I know that there's a reason. And like I said, it's so easy to say, well, everything happens for a reason, but there's a difference between knowing in your head and knowing in your heart, and I don't think I ever really knew that in my heart. And now that I can see it, it's just so wonderful. It really is like seeing a color for the first time, and then like you hear everyone who's describing a color, and they're describing like what it looks like, and it just makes sense now. Like it just finally makes sense because you see it and you have the context. There's so much I'm realizing that I don't have the words for, like that are so beyond the five senses that I'm feeling. And I think I used to like feel that and then be upset at myself because I couldn't define it, and I would like put that as a mark on me, like a negative mark on me, that I can't describe what's going through me. But some of this is just not, it's not of this world. It's not like, it's not what's going on down here. It's so remarkable. I keep thinking of like the metaphor of like the light that like shines through a keyhole, like in a dark room. You have like, if the sun were shining, there's a door, there's a keyhole, and that light goes through the keyhole. It'll illuminate the room a little bit, and that's all God can really do here. And it still illuminates and it still feels great, but it's like more and more I'm feeling that like I'm starting to feel like the sun that's on the other side of that door, and really just basking in it and basking in the knowing that I can't define it, and that's okay, and the knowing that there are so many things that I don't even know yet. It only goes up, you know? And you don't need to know everything. I think that's the maybe the biggest thing that I think is helping, is that a lot of times when I would mess up in life, or I would do something that I wasn't proud of in myself, I would be very quick to like want to reset the clock and like basically start from scratch, because it's like, now you're a horrible person, you messed up, now you gotta go again from the beginning. And I've been a lot more forgiving with myself. I never really was forgiving. Like the way I'm seeing things now is like God's like a parent trying to teach me how to ride a bike. Like, I'm not gonna get it at first, obviously, or maybe some people do, and they're just prodigies, and that's fine. That's what it is. but most of us, we don't learn how to ride a bike on our first try. I don't think anyone would agree that a good parent would yell at their child for not being able to ride a bike on their first try. Why would you yell at someone for not knowing how to do something that they don't know how to do? So what do? You support them. You say, okay, you tried, try again. You can try again. Try again. Be forgiving. Know that you will get it eventually. It's not like we're not going anywhere. The bike is still always here. You can like give up if you really want to, but you can try again. I'll always be there for you to try again. And that reframing, it's meant so much. Like, you may disagree with me on that. Like, maybe I should be feeling more negative about myself. Truly, I don't care at this point. I'm noticing that I'm making better strides when I know I'm forgiven. Like, when I used to think that like I was a bad person and kind of just like whipping myself, like it just made me want to quit. Knowing that it's my pace, I can do this on my time. And I'm the only one holding myself back by my lack of being able to give myself over to this. It's so freeing, man. It's so freeing. I guess maybe that's my takeaway for you with this, is really like, remember to forgive yourself. It's okay. There's nothing too crazy you're doing that's unforgivable. Maybe there is, I don't know. I'd hope that no one watching these videos has done anything unforgivable. I'm gonna assume you haven't. There's nothing you've done that's unforgivable. Forgive yourself. Do better. Do good. I love you. Peace out. Bye-bye.